From the Soapbox is the official podcast for the American Animal Hospital Association's digital newsroom, Trends. Here, we take inspiration from the familiar soap notes, but instead of looking at the condition of a patient, we're diagnosing and discussing the state of the veterinary industry. We'll chat about the challenges, trends, and innovations shaping the veterinary world with voices from across the community. I'm your host, Dr. Emily Singler. Thanks for listening. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of From the Soapbox. My guest today is Jeremiah Pouncy, a third-year veterinary student at Cornell University College of Veterinary Medicine. He's also a content creator, a student leader, a wildlife conservation enthusiast, a storyteller, and an entrepreneur. You'd think with a list of accomplishments like that, we'd be talking about someone who's been out in the field for at least a few years. But Jeremiah's enthusiasm and excitement are just too big for him to wait until he graduates to get started making waves. We got to chat about what he's been up to, where his inspiration comes from, some of the mentors who've helped him along the way and how he found them, and how he has had the courage to, in his words, go places where he had no business being. We also spent some time talking about entrepreneurship, what he believes vet students want us to know about the next generation of doctors, AI, and more. If you haven't met him or heard about him previously, I'm excited for you to get to experience this episode. I promise you'll come away from it inspired, no matter where you are in your professional journey. So now, without further ado, getting his time to talk from the soapbox, future Dr. Jeremiah Pouncy. All right, Jeremiah Pouncy, thanks so much for being here. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. You and I have been kind of keeping touch now for a little while, and I've always been so impressed by you and all the things that you're doing. So I'm excited to get a chance to chat with you a little bit more and have our audience learn about you.
I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here. Ready to dive in.
Yes. I know we've got a lot of different things we could talk about, but I wanted to start out by asking you to introduce yourself to our listeners. I like to call it like a vet med journey, and you know, you could say perhaps you're a veterinary student, you're just beginning your vet med journey, but really you've done so many amazing things already. You have a ton of experience, a ton of accomplishments. On your belt, whatever the expression is. But I'd love, and just so much excitement for everything that you do. I always feel so inspired when I talk to you. So I'd love if you just share kind of like how you started out, some of the things you've done, you're doing now, and just kind of like where you are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right. So just like brief intro, my name is Jeremiah Pouncy. I am a current third year right now at Cornell, like up in upstate Ithaca, New York. I went to undergrad at North Carolina A&T, which is HBCU, like historically Black college university in Greensboro, North Carolina. There, I majored in animal science, double minored in chemistry and entrepreneurship. I've always had a love for animals and the business side of everything as well. When it comes to like the actual start of my vet journey, pretty like interesting story, but it was in elementary school that somebody's dad came in for a career day, and he was a vet, and he had essentially broke it down as if you do well in school and get good grades, then you can be a vet. You can play with animals when you get older. So I just took that, ran with it over time, like learned about like wildlife conservation, learned about like what it is to be a vet. So then I was like, this is perfect. So just kind of took that, ran with it. Did my undergrad at North Carolina A&T, as I was saying before. In there, I was able to get different experience, whether I was doing research at Friday Harbor Laboratories, doing some research on sculpin ventilation, so like fish breathing. While I was there with Dr. Stacy Farina, shout out Friday Harbor Laboratories. And then I had met a vet, Dr. Joe Gatos from CDOT Society, and he had introduced me to Dr. Todd Schmidt at SeaWorld San Diego, and he offered me like a veterinary externship. So that was where a lot of my veterinary hours came from at SeaWorld San Diego. And then from there, just took it ran with it, did a lot of stuff outside of vet med as well, whether it was within the consulting side of stuff, whether it was my internship with the NFL, whether it was like different like case study, business pitch competitions to try and learn about the world of business so I could bring all that knowledge to vet med. And now in vet school, traveling around the world while being a vet student has been a lot. It's been really fun. It's been a lot of work, but it's really fun and exciting. It's all like wildlife conservation work as well as some like spay neuter wellness clinics as well. Um, do some consulting for a few companies, but yeah, I feel like I do a lot of different stuff and then content as well. But we're here. We're here enjoying life, loving life.
I love that. I love that you had that like very formative experience at such a young age from like a career day, feeling inspired, feeling empowered that you could do that. But then you've been very intentional, it seems, along the way in making all these other connections. And then it's amazing once you have what one connection, what that will grow into and who that person will
Exactly.
connect you to and what opportunities that will lead to. But
Exactly. It's kind of insane how everything just kind of works out in a way you can't even really think about. Because like the first Black veterinarian that I had ever met was when I went to undergrad, Dr. Gentry Apple, and she's the one that put me in contact with the person that was over that research program. And then it was like while I was at that research program, I met that vet who gave me the opportunity at SeaWorld San Diego, and then both of them wrote two of my letters for like letters of rec for vet school, and then we're here now somehow, some way. So
I mean, somehow, some way, but also a lot of work from you. And then, I think we're an industry where we want to help each other succeed. And there are so many amazing people who it seems like we're also willing to reach their hand out and pull you up and pull you into the things they could share with you.
yeah, which I love
So
about
I
vet
love
med.
that.
I feel like it's a special, very, very special industry. So I feel like
Yes.
I'll never lose like the joy or excitement about vet med. Plus, it seems like everybody knows everybody in some way, shape, or form. So that's also pretty cool too.
It's a small world. It's a small
Yeah,
world. Well, I'm glad you have your excitement because we need it. We need the excitement and the enthusiasm. Um, so thank you. Thank you for bringing that with you on your journey and sharing that with us today. Um, and kind of on that same theme, like every time I've spoken with you, this is how our conversations go. You're so full of energy. You're so positive. You're so optimistic. You've got so much excitement for all the things that you've done and all the things that you want to do and all the people you've met. Like, where does that inspiration come from? Like, where does that where did that come from within you? Like, how do you?
I feel like while growing up, I'm the oldest of three. I have a little brother and a little sister. And as we were all growing up, I feel like my parents, like any idea that we had, any dream that we had, they're like, as long as you put in the time, effort, and energy, you'll be able to accomplish whatever dream you can conjure up in your imagination. And same thing like with being a vet, I just took it and ran with it. And they're like, as long as you do well in school, we'll support whatever you have going on. So I feel like the fact that in my like heart of hearts, I feel like if we're able to pursue our dreams and we're doing what we love in like a literal sense, then there's no way that we can't just be like filled with inspiration, joy, happiness, excitement about just living life day to day. I feel like I just take that and continue trying to spread it. Even like being in vet school now, most people don't travel the way that I do. Like if I need to move an exam, if I need to take an exam early, I'll take the exam early. If I have to miss a few lectures to be able to do this experience or go do this conference or meet this person, meet that person, I feel like I'll do that because I feel like those are the moments that I'll cherish. Those are the moments that I'll remember. And then just trusting the system, like the education system that vet school is giving me. So kind of like trusting the process on that end as well. I don't know, but I feel like it's really just my parents really just instilling in me that I can do whatever I want to. Make sure, of course, have all my ducks in a row. That I can do whatever I want to, and then inspiring my little siblings, seeing the ideas they have, and seeing them just continue to check it off, check it off, check it off, check it off, check it off. is cool to see. So I feel like it inspires me as well. Good little like friendly sibling competition is what I would say. Parents and healthy sibling competition. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Never hurts to have a little bit of that. And you mentioned travel, and we've talked about this a little before, and I've seen some of your pictures and stuff, but I'd love to hear like some of the stories and some of the places that you went and the things you've been able to do, the types of wildlife encounters you've been able to have and the projects that you've worked on. Can you share some of those stories
Yeah,
with us?
absolutely. So my first experience was the summer of my first year here at Cornell. And while I was here, I had wanted to do this program here called Expanding Horizons, which essentially will give you grant money, or you can apply to the grant to be able to get experience in pretty much any international country, whether it's research, clinical experience, or a combination of both. But I wanted to go to Antarctica because, like, why not go to Antarctica? I feel like that'd be cool. Um, so while I was going through like emailing like hundreds of people doing work and research in Antarctica, none of them ended up turning up. However, I stumbled upon this YouTube channel called Vet Tales, and essentially it's this vet, Dr. Shetty from Australia, and she travels around the world providing free vet care on a boat. Um, so I reached out to her. She got back to me. We met a couple of times, and I ended up spending a couple of weeks with her out on her boat in the Sea of Cortez, Mexico. And I was doing a lot of wellness exams, vaccines, and then also like spays and neuters out in Mexico. So that was really cool, really fun. Um, and I feel like that experience taught me how to be adaptable within vet med because when you're on a boat, you go to the grocery store and then you just gotta survive off of what you have on the boat. And then it just takes so much time going from point A to point B. And I don't know if anybody's ever sailed before, but if the wind's not very strong,
Yeah.
it takes forever. And it was just us three on the boat, like her partner, and myself. So at a certain point, especially with me being on go all the time, I never really have a chance to sit still. And when I do, I feel like I'm just like wasting time. But the biggest takeaway from that experience was I feel like being able to become at peace with being still. It's probably the biggest thing that I took away from that. And then to end off that summer, I was in South Africa with Dr. Chloe Buiting. She's also known as the Jungle
The
Doctor
Jungle
on
Doctor,
like,
yeah.
all social media. I met her back in 2019 while I was at A&T again, just from a random connection. But she's been my mentor for years, and we've been trying to figure out when I would be aligned to be able to go and participate in a conservation mission with her. And she had organized one in South Africa doing some work with rhinos, elephant collaring, doing some work with relocating wildebeest and buffalo, pregnancy checking some buffalo, just a whole bunch of wildlife conservation work. But I was out there in South Africa. That was insane. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It was absolutely beautiful out there at Kruger.
Can't even
And
imagine.
it was bananas. I would definitely recommend getting out there. Um, and then where else? Where else? I went to India in January of my second. Oh, of my is it my first year or second year? I think my first year. And that was doing some work with Wildlife SOS and Wildlife Vets International, and that was doing some work with sloth bears, which aren't sloths at all. They're like they are bears, but doing some work with them, elephants and birds. And most recently, I was just in Gabon, which is the most beautiful place on planet Earth, in my opinion, at least that I've been to or seen. Um, and there I was doing some work with chimpanzees and gorillas, doing some like wellness checks and things of that nature. But absolutely love that experience as well. Um, yeah, it's just like a lot. Um, but yeah, definitely
That
good
is
though.
a lot. I'm gonna have to look up a picture of a sloth bear after this because
It's
I've
crazy.
never heard of one before, and that sounds like it would
Crazy.
be incredibly cute.
It is
Um,
crazy.
so when you were thinking you wanted to do all of these things, or maybe you didn't even know what the opportunities were before you found them. I mean, how did you find them? And when you found them, was it something where there was so much competition to get these opportunities because there were a ton of other people applying for them, or how did that work?
Yeah, there's most of the stuff that I've done has been not Cornell affiliated. So it's literally just been reaching out to a whole bunch of people. Like I was saying, it started with me wanting to go to Antarctica because why did I want to go to Antarctica? I have no idea, but I thought it'd be cool. So I just literally just so happened to stumble across that one vet's YouTube channel. She just so happened to message me back. And then that sparked something. I met Dr. Chloe back in 2019 when I was trying to plan a study abroad, but then COVID hit, so I couldn't study abroad. But I got connected with her, and she just gave me a couple of opportunities, and I was like, yes, I'll figure out the details later. I'll take a test early if I need to take a test early. The money aspect of everything, I'll raise money. I do a lot of stuff on GoFundMe, um, and just entrepreneurial stuff as well. And that took a lot of time, but I feel like it's worth it. There's also a couple of Cornell programs like the Dean's Leaders Program, which is for underrepresented communities within veterinary medicine to help give opportunities, whether it's for leadership development, whether it's for conferences, externships, or travel like this. So I also use that program to be able to help fund different things as well. But it's really just been a matter of reaching out to people because I had some random idea or concept of what I wanted to do and somebody trusting me with an opportunity. But it's all been word of mouth. But definitely want to shout out Dr. Stephen Osofsky and Dr. Caroline Yancey as well. They're very big within the international wildlife scene within the world, honestly. But they're the two like go-to people at Cornell, and they definitely help set me up for success when it comes to like fundraising or anything like that as well.
So you did most of the fundraising yourself, or at least coordinated it, found the scholarship opportunities, or like you said, raised money other
Yeah,
ways.
yeah. GoFundMe,
Yeah,
GoFundMe is the go-to. Takes a lot of
yeah,
work building
yeah.
the story, like building the actual like homepage is the biggest thing, and then actually just going through and just contacting everybody. Like literally, if you want to start anything or do anything, raise money on GoFundMe, just go to your contacts list and message absolutely everybody. So a lot of people aren't going to respond. Some people are going to say no, but then there are going to be a few people that say yes, and that's all you need. So this can't have any shame. Essentially, no pride. You got to swallow the pride, but it works out.
Yeah. 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 Well, clearly you've been willing to put yourself out there in a lot of different ways. And it seems like it's been a pretty successful strategy for you.
Yeah. So again, somehow, some way, it's worked out.
Yeah. I wanted to talk too about your interest in business, because you mentioned that you got a minor in entrepreneurship in
Yeah.
your undergrad. And like, where did that interest come from? Is that something you had for a while, or just how did that come about?
Yeah. I feel like since I was growing up, I've always just been like, I just wanted money to be able to do different things. Like when it came to shoes, I love shoes. But my mom, when I was growing up, she was like, I'll get you one pair of shoes, but after that, you're growing too fast. We can't just keep on spending a whole bunch of money on shoes. Same thing with like gaming consoles. Got me my first gaming console. If you want something else, another console or different games, you got to have money for that. Um, Pretty much like anything excessive that I didn't really need, I had to earn the money. Whether it was by doing chores, I just like continued like trying to negotiate with my parents to be able to get an allowance for doing different chores. I'll be like, I'll do my little siblings' chores. If you want me to clean the bathroom, I can clean your bathroom. If you want me to organize your closet, I'll organize your closet. So doing stuff like that, walking different dogs, starting up like a pet sitting business. So I feel like as a kid, I've always had like an entrepreneurial energy or entrepreneurial drive, even though I didn't know that it was like being an entrepreneur necessarily. And then just over time, learning about like history and learning about how wealth is built, I just wanted to understand how to play the game of business to be able to create generational wealth, figure out why different things throughout history have happened and how to be able to put my family and the people that have uplifted me in a better position than like I was in, which was great. I feel like had a very, I guess, like privileged life in a sense. Um, but I want to be able to create impact, and to be able to create impact, money has to be there in some way, shape, or form. whether it's like a nonprofit, whether it's actual for-profit business. So I wanted to be able to actually understand how to make money so that I can make impact in a sustainable way. Because I feel like there's right ways to do business, there's wrong ways to do business. I feel like a lot of stuff gets exploited, but there's definitely a good way to do business. But you got to learn the game. You got to know how business works. So just kind of like dove full face into it. Same thing with like the NFL internship. It was a professor that I had from my first entrepreneurship class. He said there's this internship with the NFL. You can apply. I had no business applying as an animal science student. I had just picked up the entrepreneurship minor. It was the first class that I had taken. And somehow, some way, was able to get the experience with the NFL. And I feel like it taught me a ton about business. And there's so many things that are applicable to vet and med. So even if you have interest in like open up a coffee shop or literally anything business wise, just do it, because why not? And then if you want to take it back to vet med, you can take it back to vet med.
I love that, because I think we get caught up so much in the idea of like, oh, I'm not qualified. I don't
Yeah.
have all the qualifications to apply for this. And you said you felt like you had no business applying, but obviously someone
Yeah.
felt differently because you got the internship. Um,
Yeah. Just
and I
like
think
it.
that's such an important reminder.
I feel like it helps having the cross disciplinary experience, because I feel like that's where innovation is drawn from. Even when we're trying to come up with different ideas for, like, for example, AI in vet med, it can't just be computer science designing it because they don't know the ins and outs of vet med. It can't be just vets designing it because we spent our entire lives not coding and not learning about
Yeah.
how AI
Yeah.
works. But when you're able to bring people together, I feel like that's where the real magic happens. So yeah, if you feel like you have no business applying to something, just do it. See what happens. That's my philosophy.
I like that. I like that. And so like with the entrepreneurship, with the business experience and the studies that you've done, like do you think about becoming a practice owner at some point? Or
Yeah,
yes?
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
I would do it as soon as I can. Of course, there's like the money involved in it, so like
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. But there's ways to
Yeah.
make money. There's ways to get money and like funding, whether it's like traditional lending or anything like that. Um, but I like my big dream is to be able to create like veterinary real estate development. So being able to have the veterinary hospitals and then other businesses that attract pet owners and kind of just replicate that model across the US. Hopefully be able to do stuff internationally at some point. But then with that business, of course, be able to have some sort of like nonprofit or foundation arm as well that's able to create impact within the community. Um, and then internationally as well. But definitely want to get into practice ownership, both practice ownership and real estate. I feel like that's where the blend is going to happen. I love real estate, so we'll see how it pans out. Again, something that I probably have no business doing, but like, why not? You know?
Hey, no, I know of other veterinarians who are very involved in real estate, either as like a side thing or sometimes even their main thing. So
Yeah.
I think we've got business being anywhere we want to stick our noses, I guess.
Yeah. 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 Just go for it. Just go
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
it.
I love that idea of like creating a whole like a housing community or something built around pet ownership.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's very cool. And I imagine you'll end up having like 3 or 4 other businesses along the way.
Yeah,
Knowing
probably.
what I know about you so far, you're going to be like a serial entrepreneur, I predict.
Yeah. I feel like definitely, most definitely. I mean, I'm excited to like being out of vet school and having like a salary, like being able to actually have money that I can like budget is gonna be insane. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm
Oh
excited.
my gosh. It's been a long time, but I remember being in school and being like, can you imagine actually someone giving me money? Like
Yes, yes, and having it on like a regular, consistent basis, the way I can like budget out. Yeah,
something that
now
we
like
take so for granted when we have a job.
yeah, it's like being a student. It's just like penny pitching essentially. You just gotta make what you can work, enjoy life, love life, live life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely feel like the first paycheck is going to it's gonna hit hard. So I'm excited for it. I'm
Yeah.
excited for
I'm excited for you to have that.
it. Thank
You
you.
deserve it. You deserve it. Hang in there. It's coming. It's coming. Um and so I wanted to like ask you too, because you're doing so many things that maybe others at your age and your stage of training perhaps are not doing or can't imagine themselves doing, or maybe have that mindset of like, I have no business doing this, that, or the other thing because who am I? I'm a student, I'm still learning, Um, but obviously you have a different mindset about that. But like what advice do you have for students or even like new grads in terms or I don't know, even me, like I'm 20 years out, any of us really, in terms of like finding new opportunities or figuring out what they're passionate about or like exploring some new opportunity. Like
Yeah.
how do you like think about that? How would you advise someone else if they were unsure of what they wanted to do or how to make a decision.
I feel like the my biggest thing that's helped me is one of the rules I live by is based on my gut feeling, 5 seconds after like any opportunity pops up, if I'm like, yes, I want to do this, then I just say yes. If I have like an inkling about like, no, I don't really want to do it, then I won't. But if I say yes, this full send into it, like whether I'm asking for advice about it to be able to like prepare myself for it, whether it's trying to raise money for different opportunities, like for the trip that I was going to Gabon for, I found out about that mission, I think like 3 weeks before, and I needed to raise like thousands of dollars to be able to go on the trip. But I was like, yes, I need to go on this, so I will figure it out. So I literally just reached out to a whole bunch of vets that were doing wildlife work. For the GoFundMe, had to set it up again, just full sprint, full sprint, full sprint, go, 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 go. So I feel like the first thing is understanding that if you want to make something happen, you can make it happen. It's just, are you willing to put in the work for it? But don't limit yourself because you don't feel like you can make something happen. You can make something happen if you want to make it happen. If money's the barrier, you have people and you have a support system that you can ask. There's different grants, opportunities, scholarships. You just literally have to ask. I was emailing fire departments. I was emailing nonprofit centers. I was emailing police departments. I was emailing everybody. Again, that I probably in like in general didn't have any business emailing or like reaching out to, but they helped get me to where I wanted to get to. So yeah, one, don't limit yourself. And then if you have a passion, like I've grown up loving sports. So when I heard about the internship with the NFL, I was like, well, the NFL is cool. I want to learn something about business, and I love football. I love the NFL. As an animal science student, I was probably the only animal science student applying to it. But instead of looking at that as a bad thing, like I didn't have any experience with the business world, I looked at it as a kind of like superpower in a sense because I was going to be bringing a perspective that nobody else had. Um, so also trying to look at the ways that you're, I guess, like label, whether it's the career that you're in, whether it's the major that you're studying in, whether it's the path that you want to go down, looking at that as a superpower that can get transposed into a different industry. So, yeah, not limiting yourself by what your label is, um, believing that you can make stuff happen as long as you put in the time, effort, and energy because you truly, truly, truly can. And then not being afraid to ask people for help. Because regardless of what it is, what you want to get into, somebody's done it, or somebody's had the idea of it, or they know somebody that's had the idea of it, or they know somebody that's done it and been successful. So just having no pride, asking for help, and then being willing to support and help other people. Because I feel like time and time again, I've been shown that as long as you're putting good out into the world, um, in building meaningful relationships, you just never know where life can take you. And I feel like that's the beautiful part about life, in my opinion. Um, when you get an opportunity, just say yes, figure it out. Yeah.
That is beautiful. And I love that you said, because I feel like we get a lot of messaging around like just say yes, like, um, but I love that you highlighted that go with your gut.
Yeah,
Like if it's something that you want to do,
exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
as opposed to saying yes because you feel like it's what you should do or what someone else
Yeah.
expects you to do, or someone will be mad if you don't do, kind of thing. You're like starting out with, is this something you actually want to do? I can think of at least one opportunity where my gut said no. And I was like, I should probably say yes. And I did. And it was a miserable experience,
Yeah,
you know?
it's like I feel like with that gut feeling that you have, that instinct, I don't know what it is, but you're recognizing some pattern from before and
Yeah.
something is misaligned. Um, so just don't there's no need to stress yourself out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if your gut says yes, don't rob yourself of that moment.
Yeah.
Of course, that comes with
Yeah.
like sacrifices within like the time, effort, and energy aspect of everything. But if you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. And then be okay with what may, I guess, like suffer because of that. Like with my travel, being able to like push an exam forward or have to miss these lectures or miss this, miss that. Like I understand that my grades inherently are going to suffer because I could have just spent that time, like whether it's the travel time, whether it's the time doing the experience, I could have spent that time studying. But for me, that experience is more valuable than studying. But I'm trusting the vet school system that they'll get me to where I need to be. So also just trust the system. It's not gonna let you down. So whether it's a job, the ship is still gonna sail, whether you're doing the job or not doing the job. Um, like you have a support system around you. Same thing with school. If you miss a couple of lectures or you have to take a test early, you don't get the grade that you want to get. There are so many more tests that we've taken. Everything is gonna even out at the end of the day. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Trust yourself too, I think is
Yes.
also what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that I feel like
Trust yourself.
that's a big thing. More people
Yeah.
got to trust themselves. Trust yourself. We're all smart. We're all doing the thing. We all have so many like even just looking at I guess like life in a resume aspect, not in like a I did this, did this, did this in like a bragging way, but as justification behind what your possibilities are. But you just got to remember, you got to be cognizant of what you've done in the past. And that should instill confidence. You should be proud of yourself.
I love that. I love that. I want to talk more about your experience as a vet student. Because you are a vet student, you're in that world, you're also in all these like leadership roles as a veterinary student. So you're talking with students not only at your own school but at other veterinary schools. And we were just talking about how you were at SAVMA Symposium, and I'm curious, like what are veterinary students talking about right now? Like what are they most worried about? What do they want others in the profession to know about their experiences and their needs? Like what are you hearing?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest like need aspect that I hear both from vet students, but then also on the side of practice owners and current vets is the fact that vet students as a collective are scared of surgery. And I feel like there's a lot of things that go into that, whether it's actually being able to get surgery experience while we're in school, um, so that we have the confidence to graduate and then dive into surgery, even have the confidence to be willing to be supported through different surgeries. Like some practice owners that I've talked to, they have vet students coming out saying, I'm not doing surgery because I don't feel comfortable doing surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, or same thing with like dentistry, which to me, like being on like the vet student side, if I didn't do stuff outside of vet school, I would only have like a few experiences to be able to do like actual surgery, like
Yeah.
start to finish. I would only be able
Yeah.
to do a dental, um, on a cadaver. So it's like, it's just not the same. So it definitely makes sense on the vet student side. It does take a bit of courage to just be like, yes, I'm not going to be the best at this, but I'm willing to learn. But
Mm-hmm.
on the flip side of that, the education side also, I feel like needs to be bolstered, which has a lot of logistics going into like actually making it so that students can get surgery experience, the safeness of it, having like the faculty to be able to support the students while they're in the student role of surgery. So I feel like that's probably one of the biggest things, trying to get support and opportunity within like the surgery and dentistry side, which will help everybody, especially on the dentistry side. For a practice, dentals make a lot of money. So that makes vet students more attractive to practice owners if they're willing to do dentals. So I feel like that would help all parties. Like practice owners make more money, and then vet students be empowered to do more within vet med. And then also within the world of I feel like it's here in vet med now. It's going to start.
For
I feel like
sure.
there's so many more different applications that are going to be applied with AI. But within vet school specifically, I feel like the big notion around it from like faculty and educators is the fact that we're just using it and we're going to cheat with AI. Like it's just seen as like this bad thing. But I feel like being able to teach vet students how to use AI, how it can empower us, and how it can be used as a beneficial tool, the same way that instead of just having a calculator, now accountants and financial advisors have Excel, and there's so many things that you can do with Excel. It didn't just replace the knowledge or make it so that you're regressing on your knowledge. So I think that being able to teach us vet students how to use AI is going to be a very, very big thing, because we're just all trying to figure it out on our own. So yeah,
I feel like the vet students are going to come out and teach the rest of us about AI. Because
and I feel like that's how we're going to be, because we're trying to figure it out. I feel like there's so many different applications that we can use it for, like whether it's education, like writing, editing. There's so much that you can do with AI. But I feel like it just can't get fear mongered within the education system. But that's how it is currently, top to bottom. Whether it's like vet school, whether it's undergrad, whether it's like even just grade school, like AI is just seen as this answer key or like cheating tool. But it is so much
yeah,
more if we teach people how to use it. There's
which
so
it
much.
could be, it could be
Exactly.
used that way. So,
Exactly. You gotta trust the people.
yeah,
Trust the people and
yeah.
empower them to do the right thing. Teach them how they can use it ethically. Um, yeah,
Trust that students want to actually learn the information and not just
exactly,
rely on AI to
exactly.
give it to
And
them in the moment that they need it.
yeah, and at this point, within like, especially within vet med in vet school, like we're deep into it. Like we want to become vets. We want to be good and competent, great vets. So we know that we need to know the information. Even studying, we all study completely different
Mm-hmm.
from what we did in undergrad, just because we take it so much more seriously,
Mm-hmm.
because we know that all this information is going to what we've been working towards our entire lives. Um, so yeah, definitely those two things, the AI aspect and then the surgery, both on like the dental side and soft tissue and orthopedic side. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm excited for there to be more discussion about those things so that we can find solutions that help students and new grads feel comfortable and practices get the support that they need from
exactly.
their new hires.
Exactly. Which I feel like it helps everybody at the end of the day. It helps clients, it helps the practice owner, it helps the new grad vets, helps vet students, it helps everybody.
Yeah.
So just got to figure out what solution would actually be best. So we'll see how it all pans out over the next few years. I'm like hopelessly optimistic about everything, so I feel like it'll be good.
Well, keep up with that because it's helpful. We need at least some people like that so that we can keep working on these things and make progress on them, and we will. I don't doubt that. And I know you could probably like think of a lot of things to answer this question, but as I mentioned to you before, I like to always ask like, what's one thing that you're excited about in veterinary medicine? So can you narrow it down to one thing? Like, I
Yeah,
know
I
you're
would.
probably so many things you could say, but
Yeah,
what do you think?
so many things. Like since you first introduced that question, like so many things have ran through my brain. But I would say the next generation of vets, like even like beyond my generation, just because there are so many like university led initiatives as well as a lot of student led initiatives and organizations like VBMA, Veterinary Business Management Association. That's a national student led organization that's getting people exposed to business. There's Blend Vet, which is helping try and increase diversity within veterinary medicine. So it's like there's so many cool things that have happened just since my getting into undergrad and being in vet school. So like maybe like six or 7 years so far. That I'm very intrigued on how it's going to be impacting all the people coming up after me. So I'm just super excited, like with all the ideas that are going to be coming out, the different type of people that are going to be joining the field and the profession, the different type of clients that we're going to be able to serve. There's going to be so many different ideas. They're going to have different ways to apply AI. I feel like there's like at a very base level, there's AI scribes like helping us with like note taking and record keeping and everything. But I bet there's probably like a 5 or 6 year old that we could ask, and they have a completely like rocket ship level idea of what AI could be used for within vet med. And I feel like some are going to be able to bring it to fruition. So I'm excited about all those different possibilities that I can't even really fathom right now, but that I feel like the next generation is going to do an amazing job at bringing forward.
I love that. With a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old at home, that just made me think about like what maybe you'll be the future of the profession.
Right. Yeah, ask them about
It's
ideas. They
exciting.
come up with a whole bunch of stuff, literally a whole bunch of stuff that we just never would think about. And then just like through like life experiences, there's so many things that like taints our idea of what is achievable and what's not achievable. But they think everything you can do anything. So I like it. I like
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
That childlike creativity and imagination that
Sure.
they still have, that they can, I don't know, harness technology and everything that we already know, and like you said, come up with things that we never could have even imagined. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Because people had told me that we went from Siri to Chat GPT. Yeah. So we're here now. We're here now.
Yeah, it's AI is insane. All the things
Yeah.
that I'm learning that it can do, and I'm sure there are so many people doing so much more with it. But yeah, I wanted to tell you, I didn't know before you said that answer. I was going to tell you that like that's a very popular answer in general when I ask that question, is to say like the younger generations, and usually they're talking about like, people who are already veterinarians, or like veterinary professionals who are in the field, and how inspired so many of us are by the newer grads and the students and the younger generations. And so people like you who are bringing all that excitement and enthusiasm and new ideas into the profession, not just in terms of like how we practice, but about how we live our lives and set boundaries and practice wellness, and all of those things. So um, very grateful to have that new infusion of life and inspiration and ideas, and all
Yeah,
of that. I think
I appreciate it. I'm excited. I'm very,
it's
very
so
excited.
important. Awesome. Well, I'm so excited for everyone to hear this conversation, and to learn from you and be inspired by you, and to learn to trust themselves and just put themselves in the running for things that maybe they think they have no business being in the running for. Because I agree. I think that's such an important way to make your dreams come true.
Yeah.
Um, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with listeners, and or ways for them to follow you or learn more about what you're doing?
Yeah, you can like on LinkedIn, Jeremiah Pouncy, and I'm also on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all at Through Jeremiah's Eyes. THRU, Jeremiah's Eyes. Um,
Awesome.
so definitely check me out on all those platforms. And then last things to leave the audience with, just pursue your dreams relentlessly. With any idea that you have, I can all but guarantee, as long as you put in the time, effort, and energy, that you can make it happen. Um, and I mean that on like a literal sense. Um, just do anything that your mind and gut align on, and then whatever idea you have to like actually execute upon that, run it by a few people, and then just don't wait, don't hesitate, just go with it.
I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing all that inspiration with us today. I'm excited.
Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. This was great. This was
Yeah.
phenomenal. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody,
And
for listening. Thank you for having me.
we're gonna keep in touch. We're gonna keep our eyes on you. See all the things
Oh
that
yeah,
you
most definitely, most definitely. Still
grow.
read our meetings and everything.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Thank you.